Welcome everybody to day one of the round of 8. Group A has been delayed, so we're going in Group A. We're going to have to interview the players. So let's get into their thoughts in today's matchup. Like we see Soma versus Rush, a massive rivalry between both these players. Something like 3,000 sponsored games between each other. Oh, actually, no interview today, Scan.
No, I didn't expect that there's not going to be any interview. So I thought we will be having some interview, how each player is thinking about each other, how they are actually prepared for this ASL Season 13 round of 8, because just 20-30 minutes ago, I checked their online Spompang record. Rush had about 54 or 55% win rate against Soma, and they have played about 140-ish game, and that was really incredible how much about they are actually spending their time to do some practice game.
Yeah, the 140 games is for this year, I'm guessing, or this month.
I think overall of the new, there's a new there's also a new website. We also put our record of the online match history, and they have played about 140-ish game. Spompang website, I guess the admin is not taking care of the website well, so people are starting to not care of that website anymore. So they changed the newer website, and that website recently made about 9 months ago.
All right, well, I'll have to check out that recently made site. I haven't been there in a while. The last time I checked, they had over like 2,000 games played in the past couple years. As you can see, Rain vs. Sulky has been delayed until next week on the 22nd, so we're going to have 2 best-of-5s that day. And today, it's going to be Soma versus Rush, a TVZ. Now, you were talking about how Rush has a 55% win rate versus Soma. What do you think about today's matchup? Do you think Soma's going to be able to take down Rush? Because our winner from ASL already eliminated in the round of 16, Mini.
Right. Well, I think Mini needs to stop doing the 12 Nexus build, or maybe he needs to do something, not work on more of a mechanical playstyle, like how should I say, like instead of doing some type of like a spicy build or something greedy build, he needs to work on more of a standard build that somehow he needs to overcome from there.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the highlights here. Rush's highlights, pretty sick. I'm sure there are going to be some sick Soma highlights too.
Oh, this scene was really impressive, like how well he was breaking that sunken line.
Yeah, that seemed like an unwinnable game when we were watching it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've seen this on the ladder. You just can't beat it. And somehow he made it work.
And also, there was a group draw. Before the group draw, they were saying, Soma was saying he wanted to revenge Rush because he got eliminated by Rush last season. So a dream became true for him. I wonder if he has really prepared a lot this season and what he's gonna be doing. I'm interested to see what strategy he'll be actually pulling. And it looks like, let me turn on the sound. Okay, we will be moving into the interview. ASL Season 13 round of 8. This is Group B, the first game. And we have seen all those highlight video of the round of 16, round of 24, and each player's past history. And Soma said he wanted to do the revenge battle against Rush. Dream became true for him. And we would like to go for the interview. How are you guys doing? Hello. And last time we were doing the group draw, and I actually pulled your name and pulled Rush's name as well. How do you like about this bracket? And he says he likes it. So in round of 16, during the interview, the pre-interview, he said, okay, Soma was saying he has some trouble having some pressure playing against opponent in round of 16, but he easily made it. Soma was saying he felt somewhat uncomfortable to play against Rush, but he feels today. He feels alright today, so he thinks he's gonna be playing well tonight. And Rush is saying he's not gonna let his guard down. He wants to keep Soma to get eliminated in round of 8. Not gonna let him to climb up higher.
어떤 부분을 좀 중점적으로 다듬어 오셨을까요?
So what specifically did you prepare with this round of 8? And Rush is saying he watched his round of 16. He's also mentioning about Rain versus C. Oh, Rain and C's commentary, and Rain and C's commentary of Rush's game. He got some of his feedback, what he needs to be working on, and what needs to be changed to play better. And he thinks those advice actually helped him a lot. So for Soma, you showed us you have some nice ZVP skill, but you got eliminated by the Terran opponent Rush last season. What do you think about your ZVP? How do you how much of a what's your confidence? How strong is your confidence? And Soma is saying he does have a lot of confidence playing against Terran on online, but every time when he comes to offline stage, he feels somewhat pressure and things are not working as well as he actually planned it for. So he needed to just keep up his pace. So Soma is saying as long as he's keeping up his mechanic and not losing his mentality, then he'll be easily beat Rush with his game pace. So, which game out of this best of 5 can be the most important game for you?
그럼 5번째 메타버스에서 무조건 승률 100%의 비장의 무기를 준비해
So Soma is saying, I forgot which number, but he's saying about the metaverse. He does have about 70 to 80% win rate in metaverse, so as long as he wins that game, he's gonna win this best of 5 series. So Rush says he's pretty much bluffing because every time whenever he says like that, he doesn't believe it. He always loses game. He didn't prepare anything for it. So he's not gonna be falling into his trap. So how did you prepare with this round of 8 best of 5 series? And Rush said no comment, he doesn't want to speak about it. But since they have been playing a lot of games each other, rivalry between them, they know each other a lot, so it's gonna be an interesting game for us. Any last word? He wants to overcome his offline the fear that he has playing against Terran. He wants to overcome and play better. He wants to win the ASL champ title, and Rush wants to defend his the revenge battle. He wants to go up to semifinal. And thank you for the interview. So we would like to know whether Rush will be keeping up that consecutive he has been making it into seeded player many times, whether he can be making it again once again for the next season.
Yep, thank you Scan for the interview translation, and we get a look at the maps. It's going to be Monopoly first, 3-player map. You don't see that often. And then we've got Butter, Vermeer, Allegro, and Metaverse. Nice to see all of the new maps going to be played first. Actually, the map I want to see the most is the second one, Butter, because a lot of PVZs I see on here, it's like mech play or wraith play. I rarely see bio play, and Rush is someone that I don't think I've ever seen play a mech build, ever. So I'm curious to see how he's going to play Butter here.
We have seen one mech play by JYJ against JD on round of 16 on Monopoly, and that was kind of like a new reinvented of the mech style with the Rex expansion into a mech play. And JYJ played absolutely great. He didn't even use he did use a single vulture in the early stage, but after that he didn't use any vulture. He just went for this pure Goliath build into 2-1 upgrade, taking on a third expansion, and just crushed JD there.
Yeah, JYJ crushed it in his group, and He'll be facing off versus Bisu, which is another, I would say, big rivalry simply because JYJ eliminated Bisu a couple seasons ago in the ASL. So definitely looking for revenge as Bisu. We're getting a look at the statistics for Soma and Rush from the past couple seasons. Looks like actually Soma's not had much success versus Terran the past few seasons, eliminated in the round of 4 by Light and Flash, and then eliminated in Season 12 by Rush. And then, of course, we see that Rush already beat Soma in Season 12 in the round of 8, and then took down also Hero in the round of 4, but ended up losing to Larva 2-3 in Season 11.
Yeah, that was a very interesting statistic information. How Soma has not been showing great performance against Terran, but since Soma did prepare a lot of a unique playstyle like a one hatch lair into Lurker all-in against Rush, and Rush somehow miraculously he held it, and I wonder if Soma is gonna be doing something unique strategy once again for this ASL Season 13 of this Best of 5 series.
Yeah, Soma always inventing the meta for Zerg. You can pull out all of the moves that they have, whether it's Mass Muta, Guardian, Hydra Guardian, Lurkers, Ultras, you name it, Soma can do it. Now, surprisingly, look at that Terran win rate. I guess it's mostly because even though Soma's a beast online, it doesn't translate, at least versus Terran, into the offline stages of ASL. You can see his win rate is only at 30%. A bit surprising to me.
And also the thing we have to know is Soma is the guy he reinvented of the two-hedge Muta, and he has like the it's probably not the lowest win rate, but low win rate against Terran. The guy who reinvented of the two-hedge Muta, that's somewhat hurt, I would say. And we are also taking a look at Rush's test information. 47.5% win rate, decent.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got nearly a 50% win rate in the ASL, I mean, that's pretty damn good. And often you're going to go pretty deep in the ASL because it is just so hard. Obviously, you got the best of the best players. Remember, Rush got second last season, so he's looking to get his first championship. And I have to say that the road's somewhat pretty clear for him, with Mini already being eliminated. You know, I wanted to ask you, what did you think of Mini's choices in the group draw? When he first picked Light, I was like, are you crazy, dude? Because I instantly went to Spawnbong, and I looked up the win rate, and he only had like a 25 or 30% win rate versus Light. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, I think since Mini got the ASL champ title already, he achieved his dream. So I guess he wanted to challenge himself of overcome of his PBT against Light, and he has been always trolling in a group nomination in the past, making Shuttle really sad. They weren't on the same team, SDXO, and you know Shuttle is the guy who joined the SDXO first, so he's the senpai, and you are the, how should I say, it's not freshman, but what's the word? It's like
the student.
Okay, a student. What's the opposite word of senpai?
Disciple, Jeja?
Or Jeja. Okay, let's go with Jeja. Yeah, let's go with Jeja. And you're trolling to your senpai. That's not that's not a good manner, I would say. So I guess he wanted to be a somewhat clever for the group nomination this season. Helped Shuttle out, but unfortunately Shuttle couldn't make it into round of 8.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was eliminated, and it looks like our players are ready. So let's get into Game 1 of our first series of the round of 8. Remember, it's Group B. It's going to be Soma versus Rush on Monopoly.
모노폴리에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, in the mid right position, our Zerg player. It is Soma. And in the top middle, in the good spawned position, it is Rush. Now, every time I see someone spawn in a position like this where they have vertical mining, Is this as good as Ascension? Is this optimal mining for him?
Well, that mineral patch and how it's set up is exactly the same as the Ascension 12 o'clock location.
Okay.
And I think it's okay with the mining efficient, and I still prefer like the Neo Silpha mineral line where you can actually have more income. But we are seeing Rush already sending out an SCV. I don't think this is going to be an 8 racks.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a depot. And for those of you that want to know how we know that it's a depot, if you send out the SCV at 48 minerals income, that's generally when you can have exactly 100 at your natural and go for that wall. Now, it's funny you mentioned Sylphid because I was instantly going to ask about this. I know you and other Terrans hate Sylphid. It's one of the few 3-player maps that we've ever gotten. In Monopoly, another 3-player map. Do you like Monopoly, or do you think this is another unplayable position top middle if you spawn here in Monopoly?
Well, I haven't played much of a TVZ on Monopoly, but I think it's better than Neo Silphid, because if you play it on Neo Silphid Natural expansion, you have so much of a difficulty putting down your missile turret to defend the Mutalisk Horseman. But if you're looking at this Monopoly, there's also some spaces behind of the mineral line where you can actually put down some missile turret to defend. And we are seeing Rush is being so greedy over here, putting down the command center first.
Yeah, I love it, because Rush is one of the people that will 8 racks every single game if he thinks it's going to get a victory for him. So for him to go for a command center, I don't think I've ever seen Rush go for a 14 command center. So this is a nice mining. Now, I have to say, putting your barracks like this is a bit ballsy, because how's he going to get the Marine in his base? I realize that this is a pool after hatchery, but your racks is so slow that Lings might actually be at your base. I think you should be able to get one Marine out, but still, these Marines are not going to be popping out on the right side. Now, this makes me think we might actually see mech play.
Yeah, you might be right. I think Russia has prepared for some type of a mech play, and I guess he prepared the mech play. He prepared for the mech play without knowing about his location. I mean, if he actually spawned at the 3 o'clock or at the 7 o'clock, the Marine should be popping out inside, and it would have been so much of a better case for him. But still, since he has prepared for the mech play and he practiced all the mech play all the time. Oh, never mind. I guess he has prepared for something else since he has spawned at the 12 o'clock location. So this is going to be the eBay first with the super fast refinery.
Well, I wonder how Soma's going to read this, because this really does look like it's going to be mech simply because of where that barracks is. In fact, if I was Soma here, I would have already put down the hydrogen, and that's exactly what he's going for. And this is probably going to be lurker bust, like you were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, the lurker bust might be the great choice, but we can see Rush is skipping all those marine production bunker at the front and getting all those technology. +1 already started academy as well. So judging by how fast the academy is, I think Rush can be just giving up those double supply depot, because since he started off the command CC first, so he has a lot of income anyway, so he can just give up that 2 supply depot and try to be staying safe.
Yeah, when Benzene was a map of the ladder, I often got lurker busted, and I consistently tried to hold my natural with just bunkers, and it just always died over and over and over. And finally I learned, like, hey, well, if I just build bunkers in my high ground, I realize I'm giving up my natural for a while, but at least I don't die. And it seems like that's the way to actually deal with a heavy lurker bust. Now, always the question when you're facing a lurker bust is how many lurkers is it? Because if you under defend, you're obviously going to lose. If you over defend and they go for like something like a defiler or spire follow-up, you might be in trouble. For now, it's just, oh, okay, we've got 5 hydras, so a decent amount, but not super committed to this.
This reminds me of Zealot's lurker bust all in, and we are seeing Russia's being greedy. I mean, he's just assuming Soma is playing the Muta, but he's not playing the Muta build. He's going for lurker all in. And now he's adding the Comsat station at the natural. Okay, there's a second Comsat station at the main base too, but the Comsat station is so late.
Yeah.
If he just wastes his first scan at the natural, he's probably gonna be throwing another second scan at the main base.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. If he has to scan the main first this time, because if both scans get blown, this game is over. 5 lurkers are morphing right now. He's going into 5. Oh, he got so lucky to scan first. At least he's going to have 1 scan available, but the bunkers are going to be super slow. I think he may be able to get them up, but he's got to lift his barracks to get in his base. Oh, they're not going to be up, and these lurkers, I think, should just shred these Marines. Here he comes. Rush with an anti. Oh, he stims in.
Oh, he's attacking his own marine now as an accident, but I guess the first bunker will not finish on time, but the second bunker will finish. He needs to repair immediately, and now lurkers are attacking the bunker. Oh my, that's so many of lurkers are coming inside of a natural.
Yeah, 5, 6. Oh, remember, that's his last scan. He cannot see these lurkers anymore, so if they do breach or do break the natural and push into the main, that's going to be lights out. There's no turret, there's no more bunkers going up there either, and I think this game's already over.
Yeah, that bust just literally reminds me of Zalot with the 5 lurkers zergling all into a Spartak. I'm not sure whether that's a Spartak building under the Hydra dance. Oh, he's even doing the lurker dance!
Yeah, dancing to victory is Soma. He takes a quick 1-0 lead in this series. Only 7 minutes to take down our second place finisher from last season.
That was a fantastic of a mind game, how he hid his building as much as possible to fake that he's not playing the he's pretending that he's playing the Muta build, and Rush actually fell into it. I think he was a bit too greedy, not getting the comsat station early when he got that super fast academy, and just greedy just actually got him.
Yeah, I agree. And like he was going 5 barracks without really seeing anything. I mean, 2 hatch muta is the meta these days. Like you don't ever see a 3 hatch play. So to go 5 racks, that was a little cocky. And unfortunately, he gets caught by Soma, and Soma's already up 1-0. And I think we should be going into a break. But I mean, the game was so fast. Maybe we're gonna go into game 2.
Well, ASL staff will probably give some sign whether they want to play the commercial or just keep going for the second game. And yeah, Soma, he has brought something spicy build this time, like how, you know, a lot of people actually know the player Zala in the Western as well, and everyone is scared of Zala. Like he can always lose to everyone, and he can also win against anyone.
Yeah, and we're getting a replay of that move right here. I think this is a different story if those Marines are behind the racks, like from the get-go. But he has to lift. That draws a lot of attention. Like, Rush is somebody that will instantly get on top of his bunker to repair, instantly set up defense. But because he has to prioritize those units just to save them, like just to actually get into a defensive position without getting obliterated by the Lings and Lurker Flood, really kind of just messed everything up. And Soma easily gets a win here.
And I just look at the Vespin gas. He just used the 150 gas. But we will be coming back after the commercial break.
Welcome back, guys. We're about to start game 2. It's going to be Rush versus Soma on Butter, the map that I really wanted to see what Rush is going to pull out here. Already Soma up 1-0 with a nice lurker bust. And it's funny that you mentioned Zealot because actually one of the first few games that I played once I got back to the US was versus Zealot. I just played him like 2 days ago. And he also went for a lurker bust versus me, but it was like 12 to 15 lurkers. It was so many lurkers. I was like, I kept poking out with a marine. I'm like, dude, that's even more lurkers. And to see Rush just instantly lose to this, I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, there are 2 types of lurker all-in that Zella specifically does. Is 5 lurker all-in into Spire or 12 lurker into Spire. So yeah, Soma was doing some type of lurker all-in from the last game, and Rush should actually be thinking about he needs to stop being greedy in each game because he already lost the first game 1-0. Soma is leading, and we're gonna be moving to game number 2. Soma versus Rush on Butter.
버터에서 게임을 시작합니다.
Okay, in the top right, up 1-0, looking to extend that lead to match point. It is Soma. And in the bottom right, this time with a much better spawn, at least for a wall, it is Rush. Alright, so TVZ on this map. Why do people play mech more often and don't really go bio here?
I don't really watch Pro League nowadays, so I actually started to fall behind with the meta and how they're actually doing with their new trendy build in the newer map. But I've seen Rush always playing bio on Butter, but the other players are playing mech build. And from the last week or 2 weeks ago, Rush was playing against Action, and he lost to Action 2-0. And he actually lost the 1 game on the Butter by the Zergling all-in. And this time, Rush is putting on the supply depot at the entrance of his main base.
Yeah, this is a little surprising because the Nat is wallable, and my personal opinion is if the Nat's wallable, there's not really much of a reason to wall your main. Now, seeing this makes me think that this could be Wraith, simply because it's so rare to see a wall at your main. But not going to be the case, because that SCV is going to go forward for a fast scout, not going to be an instant wall. This might be another 14cc scan. Look at him floating that money.
So I think I know, I might know what this is. You know how Preuss can also do the pylon scout into a Nexus first, and Rush is doing some type of a similar concept with the depot finishes. He goes for the scout and putting down the 13 command center if it's a 12 hatchery, and if it's not the 12 hatchery, he will be just. I think he can still put down the 13 command center at his entrance and go for the barracks at the behind, and yeah, he will be immediately putting down the command center there. So that's a good one.
Yep, this was my go-to opener when Destination was in the map pool a very, very, very long time ago, because as you said, you see the hatch, you can go for command center first. It's amazing. The one thing it does die to, at least from what I remember on Destination, is it dies to a 4-pull. And it's simply because you cannot repair the barracks in time. It's just, it doesn't complete, and it can just be bursted down. So that's the one dangerous aspect of this build. Other than that, if you're playing somebody that never 4-pulls, oh man, this is your go-to. It's amazing. And we're going to see him just get away with absolute murder in terms of econ. And this time around, that barracks is going to be on the right spot.
Did you see that the lair just started at the 49 seconds? So this is a super duper fast lair tech build. Right now, Soma is actually working on the optimization.
Yep, super fast from Soma. And that is, again, fast gas, but knowing Rush, probably not delayed mech, probably just going to see another eBay opener. And I wonder what Soma's thinking here. Is he tilted to see another 14 command center? I'd be curious to get his thoughts in an interview after the series.
Well, this time the SCV is actually being survived inside of Soma's main base, so I don't think he'll be going for the Hydra then, unless that SCV gets sniped immediately. And still no eBay at the main base. So this is going to be the factory opening, and third hatchery being inside third hatchery at the main base.
Wow, I'm shocked to see that that's going to be a factory instead of an eBay. So this is going to be some type of tech opener. We'll wait and see if it's going to be another factory for mech, of course, or if this is going to be some type of 1-1-1 variation, whether it's going to be Valkyrie or Vessel. You're always going to be careful going for a delayed 1-1-1 like this, because your Valkyrie's going to be slow, your Vessel's going to be slow, your Marine count's going to be low. You're really heavily relying on turret defense, and that is...
Academy.
Whoa, Academy. Was not expecting to see that.
So you might be right, since he's already building the Academy already and making more Marine production after 4. So we may assume this might be a Valkyrie opening. And we have seen Rush's Valkyrie opening in the previous season, where he used Speed Vulture and ruining Soma's tempo and just buy some time and get all of his Valkyrie up. And this time he's not getting the machine shop. He is just getting all of his building.
Well, he's got to be... Okay, I think that was a big eBay that just got built in his main. Like you already pointed out that the Spire is, 5 or so seconds faster than usual. And I was like, okay, dude, you got to build your eBay, because if you just get across the map, or if he gets across the map with 5-second faster mutas and your turrets aren't complete, oh man, you're going to be down 2-0 in a heartbeat. But it looks like he will have them up in time.
I'm already seeing Soma spent that gas at 5 minutes 10 seconds or somewhere around there. So that's mutaless production is really fast, and if that's 6 muta, that's almost 9 muta right now Soma's already making. That's insane.
He went for that third hatch in his main. I like the scout from the SCV to try and find the third base. Doesn't find a base anywhere, and the first few mutas are coming across the map, and you can see that this is a razor thin time, and the turrets are just barely going to complete in time.
Soma is gonna be start attacking the natural first. Okay, here are the 2, 6. He needs to be waiting one more. Okay, that's 7, almost 8.
Yep, 8 mutalist. Now he's able to one-shot SCVs. Now that turret's a little bit exposed, and his Academy is pretty slow, so he doesn't have stim, or doesn't have range at least. And that means that these mutas are going to be able to deal a decent amount of damage. Nice pick-off onto one of the mutas already, though. There's the Valkyrie, and that's going to shut this down.
I like how Rush didn't lose that much of an SCV, and he's getting all those... Since he started off with the 13cc, with the Depot Scout, I guess that amount of harassment that he just got taken by Soma's 8 muta didn't really do anything, and now this is going to be starting to change into Rush's game pace with having almost 4 medic. He needs to wait until having 4 medic, but I guess he wants to be speeding up here. Moving out with 2 medic. Valkyrie needs to fire. There it is.
Yep, and this is reminiscent of Flash's Valkyrie Marine Medic move out. He always moved out at around 7 minutes. Bio count is not exceptionally large, but with the 2 Valkyrie support, all of a sudden this somewhat small bio count becomes very fearsome. It catches Zerg before they have lurkers. So this third base at top left, if Rush was able to go and actually keep his Valkyries alive, I think this third base would instantly die. But for now, he is just posturing. He has moved back to his natural to just reinforce a little bit longer.
The observer actually showed Rush's main base earlier, and I was also looking at the Academy and the eBay, because whether some of the players, whoever they're doing the Valkyrie bio build, they always switch over to mech build, like what the late mech, but Rush was already getting the +1 attack. So I guess after this Valkyrie Eminem pressure that Rush really was intending to do in the early stage, I guess he wants to keep this his strongest of bio play with the Vessel. I guess he wants to keep this bio staying alive. But when is he gonna go for the bust? The lurkers are gonna be coming out soon.
Yeah, and I was about to say that. He's got to go before the lurkers come out, but he barely gets a glimpse of these Scourgelings going for a backstab. And Rush has some of the best Valkyrie control I've ever seen. He always does the moving shot like that, instantly snipes a handful of Scourge, and now he's going across the map. Now, meanwhile, there could be a backstab here. He may get caught a little bit off guard, but I think he should be able to survive if he can pull his SCVs, but maybe not. Here comes Soma, and we might have a base trade scenario. You can see Rush is stemming across the map.
Well, I wonder whether this is going to be a right decision because the Rush first lurker is already out. One lurker will go down. Okay, 4 lurkers are coming up, but do you have +1 already? Do you have +1 attack, Marine? And I guess this is not gonna be looking pretty for Rush.
Oh my gosh, Rush. Oh, he's gonna lose a couple of his Valkyries too, and now we have... obviously not the same, so the command center might die, but what I mean, similar scenarios, Lurker's going to be in his natural and set up a massive contain, and remember, Soma's on 3 bases, he didn't lose anything at his natural, and that's a dead command center. Look at it, it dies, and we're all of a sudden on 1 base Terran versus 3 base Zerg.
And we are seeing Soma already mining the 3rd gas, so this is pretty looking dead for Terran.
Oh my gosh, that's a heartbreaking way to lose for Rush. I thought he had basically the perfect setup going into Soma's build, but not the case. I would say he was a little bit overly greedy there, did not respect the backstab, didn't even wall off, didn't even build a bunker, and now he's 1 game away from being eliminated.
Yeah, Rush's game pace is not working on for his plan. And I mean, his plan with the CC first was absolutely great, but the decision making in this mid stage where he wanted to go for the bust or go for the defense, but every single decision making that he was doing just started to not work so well here, and Soma is just... It feels like I'm seeing Larva playing.
Yeah, I mean, Soma's just crushing it. I would say I was a little worried, though, because the Lurkers were going to be so late in comparison to the Valkyrie Marine move out. I really thought that, okay, well, this 3rd base is dead, because it's not like it's a map where it's Eclipse, where you can wall, or you can, like, Lurker egg the ramp. Like, it's completely open. I thought for sure that's what's going to happen. But movement with the Lings and Mutas did a good job to keep Rush back for a little bit longer and bought him time to get up those Lurkers for defense. Our 3rd map is going to be Vermeer, though, if I remember correctly. What do you think about TVZ on here?
Vermeer map is... I guess it's somewhat playable for Terran and also playable for Zerg, but I still kind of find the map is somewhat favored towards the Zerg because there's just so many of a Vespene Geyser you can take from multiple bases, and just so much of an advantage for the late game where Zerg just expands everywhere and using Darkstorm, just taking the Nidus Canal and just traveling everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, look at this army. It's huge. The problem is that the backstab for Rush or for Soma was much faster, and like I said, there's no bunker. There was no depot to wall himself in, and it hit the natural. Just if he had gone maybe 5 seconds faster, he can get us around on all of these Lurkers, but not able to get us around. And the focus firing was great here. Look at that, 7 Marines gone, another 5 or 6 Marines right there, and all of a sudden, this army of 15 Marines is just decimated down to only 5 or so Marines.
Yeah, that play of Rush's decision making, I think he actually calculated about the Lurker timing. If you remember the old style about 3 hatchery Muta build into Lurker build, you usually get your Lurker out at around 8 minute 20 to 40-ish second, and that's what actually Rush was aiming for, and he moved out correctly. But I guess the first attempt when he moved out, he got delayed, and he just lost his timing. I mean, he could have just gone out like 20 seconds faster, and then there would have been just no Lurker, just 2 sunken only, and he could have just busted the natural. That's I guess that's what he was actually aiming for. But Soma was just buying the time really, really well.
Yeah, and at top level play like ASL, I mean, every second matters. Literally, like I said, if this was 5 seconds faster, I think Rush for sure would have busted the natural, and this could have been a tied series 1-1. But instead, it's 2-0. it's now a massive advantage for Soma. He can afford to go for some type of greedy play like Russia's been going for, whether it's 3 hatch before pool, whether it's, a 4 pool, something insane, and he can throw a game and he'll still be fine up 2-1 in the series. Now, of course, we've got our Hot 6 commercial here. I gotta say, Into the Rain looking quite fresh today.
Yeah, he has his bang. He has his bang up to the left, moved to the left side, and showing his forehead. And he's holding the red bottle. I still haven't tried it out. Probably the sports drink they have. And that one is the move up energy, and the blue one should be the vital.
Yeah, well, now that I'm back in the U.S., I don't think I'll have the opportunity to try out any of the Hot 6s, so that's a bit unfortunate. I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. I didn't get to do, I don't think, any of the round of 16. I wanted to ask you, were you surprised by any of the people coming into the round of 8? We've got Rain here. We've got Sulky that got through, I would say, one of the death groups because most of them were Zergs, and Zerg seemed to be the bane of his existence. Were you surprised that he made it through?
Well, I'm somewhat surprised of how JYJ actually survived in the what was it, PVZ in round 16 Group C. JD, Soki, and Soma. Yeah, I mean, it's just shocking how well JYJ was actually playing. And I thought Bisu was gonna get eliminated in round of 16 because ZBP is just always scary for Protoss. I mean, Zerg can just do anything. Like, you can always drone up, or you can always just go for mass Hydralisk and just bust your photon cannon at the natural. It's always scary.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed with JYJ too. Like, he played incredibly well. He dominated his group. And I think actually this could be one of the seasons where he might actually make it to round of 4 or even beyond. I mean, he's got a good matchup, I would say. He's versus Bisu. They're both in the same, or they were in the same team, SK Telecom. So, there's a lot of history there. And looks like our Hot 6 commercial is over, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes. ASL Season 13, we're back with the first day of the round of 8, already going into Game 3. Oh, we gotta talk about the tumbler, right? Or humidifier.
Yeah, we already have seen ASL Season 13 round of 8 Group B. It's already 2-0. first game, Soma actually prepared for the 5 lurker all-in and actually worked out so well for against Rush, because Rush has been just being so greedy in that game, not getting the compensation really fast. So that just kind of got him off guard. And Butter, those Middleless, Scourge, and Zergling just bought a lot of time and actually threw Rush's timing a bit off and got his lurker up on time to defend his natural. And we're also looking at this ASL Season 13 event. They're doing the ASL 13 event. If you leave the user video clip, you will get the ASL card wallet, and also people who are doing the winner prediction event, they will get the ASL mini humidifier. And pretty sure a lot of audience have been waiting for the ASL Season 13. The jersey shirt, the uniforms are on sale. They're already selling those jacket on the Africa TV shop. Go check out the Africa TV shop and check it out. And we are already seeing the score 2-0. Rush is leading the score. He's just one game away of finishing up this revenge match against Rush. And we are going to be moving into game number 3 momentarily.
Yeah, it's nice to see that they're selling the uniforms, because I think that's probably my favorite uniform I've seen in ASL. And if I read that advertisement correctly, I think it said that you can get your name on the back, maybe? I saw something about marking on the back. So definitely consider supporting ASL by ordering a jacket, because it looks pretty sick. But as far as this series goes, one game away is Soma. He's so close to getting revenge versus Rush last season. You know that he wants it badly. I have to say, though, if Rush wins here, I really like his chances going into the final maps, because 4th map is going to be Allegro, and the 5th map is going to be Metaverse.
And during the interview, Soma said he will never lose on he does have a really high win rate on a Metaverse, so he has such a strong confidence. He's already leading the score 2-0, so I don't think we're gonna be going into all those 5 game unless Rush makes some miracle happening in this 3rd game and then the 4th game.
Really? You think it's a miracle? Rush needs a miracle to win here? Okay, well, sounds like Scan's already locking it up for Soma here. Let's see if Soma can actually just end it all in 3 games. I mean, we've only been casting for, like, let me see, 50 minutes or 40 minutes.
Right.
And the gameplay has only been like 20 minutes, so we might be out of here in the next 15 minutes or so. Let's see if Soma can close it out.
범위호에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So in the top right, 1 game away from making it into the round of 4, it is Soma. And then in the bottom left, I would say with great openers today, but not actually finding success, it's Rush.
So judging by how Rush has been making all those small mistakes in the mid game, he needs to do something. He probably needs to change his game plan to keep up for the 3rd game and then the 4th game. He needs to bring something like an ARAX opening, or maybe like how Royal does against Zerg, like he or JYJ, like pretending that he's going for Rex Expand and putting down the 2nd barracks at the natural, like just like the CC command center, and you go for 2 Rex Academy, and we are seeing Rush pulling up 8 Rex. I like it.
Yep, and I was going to say the same thing, is I think we're going to see an 8 racks from Rush, but at the same time, I think Soma would probably know that, and I would love to see an overpool or a 12 pool or something here, because I think just knowing how Rush plays and how he always wants to be aggressive at some point in the series, I feel like this was 100% of the time going to be an 8 racks. Now, of course, Rush is one of the best 8 racksers on the planet, and this is actually going to be a 12 hatch from Soma, so we'll see if Rush can actually get some damage done. But it is cross spawn.
Yeah, the cross spawn is somewhat not going to be working out so well for Rush, but still have to give some hope, since Soma started off with the 12 hatchery, and whether he's gonna be doing 12 12 12 or 12 13 12, or it can be 11 pull into 10 extractor, we have to still look at Soma's supply count, still at 11.
Now, I think you're a bigger expert at 8 Rex than I am. Is there anything special that we need to know about cross spawns? Like, does it affect how many Marines you're going to build when you see that it's cross spawn? Are you going to build more? Are you going to build less?
Well, usually it doesn't matter about the spawning location. You usually make about 4 Marine and try to pick up at least 3 drone to make the game even. But the thing we have to know more is whether Soma is making 8 Zerg instantly, or pretending that he's making 8 Zergling and making more drone, like bluffing, hey, you need to back up with your Marine. So here are the drones coming out. There are 6 drones.
Well, I think the Overlord spotted the other SCV at bottom right, and that's why Soma has already pulled these drones. Initially, I was like, dude, all he saw was an SCV at top left. How does he know that an 8 Rex is coming? Now, I have to say, only pulling 6 drones, this feels like an under pull for Soma, but he he had it! But that was the hurt drone, so he's going to back off for now. But this is still buying time to get that pool up, and so far, Rush has killed only a single drone.
Yeah, this is somewhat Soma's playstyle against 8 Rex. He just brings only 6 drones to buy some time, and he doesn't cancel his extractor. He has been mining the gas with a single drone, and he still have that enough Vespene gas and a mineral income to start his lair tech on time. And we are seeing Rush about to move out once again with the 6 Marine, and still no command center. Okay, there should be there is the command center just now started. Lair tech on the way.
Wow, Rush is going really hard on this. He has like 7 Marines just constantly rallying across the map. His command center is so late, like it just started, and the lair is like halfway done. There's gas just started. A lot of times you see Academy already like 20 seconds into completion by now, and that means that range is going to be super late. Stim is going to be super late. Is that an eBay going up for Rush in his main?
I think the answer is yes. The size of the building looks a bit bigger than I think. So that should be the eBay follow-up that Rush is actually doing. But, I mean, Soma didn't get much of an impact by this 8 Rex Rush in the early stage. And he still got the lair tech really, really fast. And Rush does not have any intel about this. Rather, Soma canceled his lair tech. Cancel his extractor for the lair tech, or keep mining the gas with the single drone and get the lair tech on the way.
Wow, this feels so greedy to see an 8 Rex do almost no damage and still Rush +1 weapon. Now the SCV gets cleaned up by those Lings. Sunken gets put down by Soma. This is a good read. I think Rush had a real opportunity to maybe not win the game, but do a lot of damage if he had moved out versus 8. With his 8 Marines, but obviously that's super aggressive and pretty coin flippy. Instead, he just backs off. He's going to go into a 3 Rex follow-up, and his Academy, I think it's done. I think I saw it blinking.
Yeah, there was a compensation being added. So yeah, Rush is playing a bit standard this time instead of being a bit greedy, but we are seeing that's already 4 Rex being up. Soma has a single sunken colony at the natural. First scan should be throwing off in the next couple seconds. There it is. Seeing how fast the Spire tech is.
Yep, Spire's about to finish. It's like maybe 2 or 3 seconds away, and you can see that the Spire was delayed quite a bit compared to the Butter game. Like, mutas were already out on the map at 550. Meanwhile, Spire just now completing. So we're going to get something like maybe 6:30-ish or so, mutas are going to be across the map. And with 4 racks production, actually Rush can get out onto the map and delay turrets for a little bit of time, try and keep those mutalists back. Let's see if he wants to do that. Nope, not the case. He is going to put down those turrets already.
Well, since whenever I watch Rush's play, whenever he's playing standard, he usually keeps his SCB on a refinery, mining the gas with 3 SCB all the time, but I guess since he started with the poor economic opening in the early stage, I guess he wanted to cut off some Vesping guys, reminding some mining less gas this time, and this might he might want to buy a lot of time with his first M&M.
Yeah, and since Soma already has a sunken up, I mean, he may not care that the Marines are out on the map, and instead he looks like he's going to go for another backstab. He's got the 7 mutas, he's taking top left at the same time. However, that's a lot of turrets already into position, and ooh, did those mutas get into a sweet spot? No, the turrets are perfectly set up, and that pushes us back relatively easily.
That killed about 4 to 5 SCV. Decent enough harassment, but this first M&M should be having that +1 momentarily, and Soma is finally making some Zergling, and this reminds me of Soki's playstyle where you make about 11 Mutalists and constantly making more of a Zergling production, but we are seeing no building whatsoever at Soma's main base.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about this eBay rush from Rush, but now we can see +1's already done. Oh no, is he gonna get backstabbed again? And Rush is completely out of position with the majority of his army. Instead, he's just gonna go for another base trade scenario. He may lose his natural again because this is a lot of lings, and the mutas can of course support the ramp. However, there is almost no defense for Soma back at his natural. It's just a single sunken, and he is scrambling to get back.
I actually like this decision making because Soma did lose a lot of Mura when he actually dove into the natural, so I guess that's why Soma wanted to back off with his Muralist and keeping up this Zergling and Muralist staying alive. I guess he wants to eat up this M&M, but I would like to see whether Soma has the +1 Mura or whatnot.
Well, this is painful for Rush because he's kind of just stuck in no man's land, and he's blowing a lot of stim energy. Like, those medics may actually be out of energy pretty soon. And that is a lot of lings and mutas. Here he comes. I'm sure +1 just now completed. He's going to swallow up this army, and this army that looked pretty fearsome a minute ago, all of a sudden just instantly got wiped. I only saw a single Mutalist fall. Luckily, Rush behind this is transitioning into vessels, but this was a great trade for Soma.
And now those Mutalists just got those +1 Muta. Only 3 missile turrets and natural science facility being added, but will Soma... Yeah, Soma is just going to be spotting those sweet spot and attacking the missile turret and picking up more SCV whenever he wants. Oh my god.
Yeah, everything is gonna die. I would say that the Marines actually did a decent amount of damage there, wiping out 2 of the mutas while damaging 3 or 4 of them. But it still just doesn't matter. It's so hard to deal with mutas these days. And behind this, Queen's Net... Oh, okay, maybe Queen's Net's not going up, but I did see Hydroden was up at Soma's up at Soma's main. So this may just be an all-in Lurker Ling follow-up.
Somehow Soma kept... Oh yeah, there is a Queen's Nest. Okay, though no wonder why he cancelled the Queen's Nest. Okay, there is the reason why he cancelled. Lots of drone being made, and those 7 middles just finding all those nice spot. Double production of the vessel. That's very nice.
Well, even though Rush lost a ton of SCVs at his natural, it still looks like he's decently saturated there. He's got his first couple vessels coming up. But he is in a world of hurt. He's already down supply. 3rd hatch is already up and running. Soma got away with, a pretty slow lurker transition. So the top left position was really kind of open if he could have gotten through the mutas, but not able to. +1 armor has now kicked in. So now again, Rush is going to go for a move out.
Those Mutalists are doing such a great job buying a lot of time. Still no lurker. That's a drone and Zergling, so those not the lurker egg. We need to see some lurker egg before Rush's M&M comes to one or the other expansion at the natural or 11. And I guess he's waiting for the Irradiate upgrade. Okay, Irradiate upgrade. It's just now kicked in. Defiler mount going up.
Yep, Defiler mount coming in. Knight is coming in. Evolution chamber already done. So +1 armor going to be upgrading for our Zerg player. Meanwhile, you can see Rush has already learned from the previous games, bunker this time for defense in case there's a backstab, which there is. And this time around, also, Rush is just going to shadow the movement of the mutas and lings. Okay, never mind. He's going to start moving out again.
And this reminds me of This reminds me of Soki right now. I mean, he's just playing like Soki and Larva. Like, he always go for backstab whenever he can. And I guess he's gonna be going in, but this time there's a bunker, as you mentioned. But those middles are taking a lot of marine shot and miss a turret.
But this is so many mutas and so many links. However, there were no lurkers at the natural. I think if Rush goes for it, he might actually bust. He also hits right before Defiles. Look at that, those Hydras just now popped out. I think this is Rush's opportunity to win the game. There is very, very skimpy defense here. The first lurker Morse, but it needs to get on the high ground.
Oh.
Wow, actually goes into the Nidus. He's gonna try and save his third base, I guess.
Okay, those Zergling does not have the adrenaline upgrade, but that one Irati Muta. Okay, one lurker somehow came. I think two more lurkers are coming. Is this a... I guess this is going to be the base trade scenario. And... does Rush have enough SCV to play one base play style?
Oh, Rush has to stem up here. He cannot let these 5 lurkers get up into position. He's going to, though, or he's going to let them finish. He's waiting for a radiate to complete, but the first Defiler's out.
Oh no, he needs to pay attention.
Consumed.
He needs to pay attention of his okay, he used the irradiate somewhere. I keep hearing that. Okay.
He used it on the lurker that was already burrowed at the ramp, and I think this is over. I mean, the Nat has been reached. The lurker that went through that Nidus to top left just got rallied to bottom left, and now basically Rush isn't mining. He doesn't have any production. He only has 2 vessels for defense. All of his production is dying, and we're so close to seeing a 3-0. There it is. Rush, he's going to be eliminated.
Wow, I mean, that quick decision making where Soma decided to give up his natural and just take those Nidus Canal lurker transport to the 11 o'clock with the Nidus Canal and go for the base trade scenario was incredibly smart. Like, you cannot make that decision making in 1 second. It's really, really hard.
Yeah, I actually can't believe Rush didn't bust there. I mean, it was one sunken scan and the lurker was morphing. It wasn't even completed. I can't believe he still wasn't able to get through. And actually, I was getting like feelings of StarCraft 2 because in StarCraft 2, you see a lot of base trades like that. I don't remember the last time I've seen like 3 games in a row where we have base trade scenario. But Soma this time around got the better end of the stick, and he's going to be moving into the round of 4. Oh my god, that was convincing.
I mean, no one actually expected how Soma can be so strong with his decision making, and this one irradiate that he used on the Mutalisk. Okay, those are the lurkers, okay. Nidus kind of was going up, but I guess the SCV pool was a bit late, I would say. And here was the single lurker getting inside of the nice canal. That was funny.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I thought for sure he needed to get on the ramp and then just instantly burrow, but going through the Nidus and instantly going back to bottom left. Some already had a couple lurkers en route to bottom left, and unfortunately for Rush, he's not able to get up the ramp, and meanwhile his main's getting ransacked. Look at it, he's trying, but he can't.
I think he didn't hockey as a marine and medic here. I mean, yeah, he used a single irradiate on lurker that had almost like a full HP, and the second vessel used another irradiate, but I think he just stacked those a second irradiate there.
All right, well, let's get into interview with our winner. He played fantastic today.
ASL Season 13 Ro.8. This is the day 1 of Soma versus Rush. That was a perfect 3-0 for the revenge match against Rush. Congratulations. Thank you. And you showed us such a great performance. We weren't actually expecting of you making into a semi-final with the 3-0 in the round of 8. And how do you feel today? And Soma is saying he kind of expected that he will be winning this best of 5 against Rush 3-0. He's very happy. So you are saying you are actually thinking that you will be making into a semi-final with 3-0. So how are you practicing? So Soma is saying he practiced with Sharp, JYJ, and Royal he is saying he's appreciating to his partners.
연습 때랑 똑같이 할 필요가 없더라고요. 그냥 연습은 열심히 하고 그냥 그 연습을 통해서
So he's saying that
걸로 좀 하면 이길 것 같다는 생각이 있어서
instead of having those like chosen play style in your practice game, you need to be very flexible. You need to be very flexible. So while you're playing with your practice partner, you just try various of play style, and whenever you are playing on an offline stage, you play something very different. You feel something. If you feel something different, then you try something out different. And he wants to say thanks to Byspire, aka Sal. He's saying he gave some advice to Soma that start with the 5 lurker opening if Terran goes for the wall and do either factory opening or eBay first. It doesn't matter really much, but so that worked out so well. So he wants to appreciate to Sai or Spire. Were you actually expecting of this lurker all-in will work out so well? Oh, so they're talking about the game number 2 of Butter. The Mirrorless and Scourge and Zergling just bought a lot of time, and he kind of expected the lurker eggs were about on time to finish and save his natural, so just kind of felt safe there. So Soma is saying about game number 3. He wasn't actually planning, but with his Mira Zergling backstab, he just wanted to take some look at Terran's natural, or even take a look at his main base with some pressure. But Rush didn't decide to go for defending his base, so that wasn't on his plan. He got lots of Zergling in the mid stage. So she just wanted to crush those M&M in the middle of the map. So how do you feel about this ASL Season 13? And he says he feels like he's gonna be easily making it into final. Any last word to your opponent, your future opponent? He knows Rain and Soki's are also a strong player, but he's having such a high confidence, he really wants to make it into the final stage. So congratulations that you actually overcome beating Rush 3-0. And he also wants to say thanks to one of the Africa StarCraft, the academic, or I should say the university content that we're doing. They want to say thanks to Bosford members and the sponsor guy, and just thanking to everyone. Again, thank you for the interview.
Well, Soma killed it today. You can see the results here, 3-0. And they were all super exciting. I would say the one game that was a blowout was the Monopoly game. But Butter, absolutely perfect counterplay from Soma there. And then, of course, for Mir, I mean, that was wild. It was so close, I think, for sure. Rush, again, just 5 seconds faster, maybe he could have gotten through. But sometimes just luck is not on your side, and he ends up falling to Soma here. And Soma's looking like a real threat. I think for sure, I agree with him, that he could make it all the way to the finals this time around. Yeah, I was getting some text messages. Sorry about it. And we are already taking a look at this round of 8 bracket. The next cast, it is going to be on March 22nd, Tuesday. We are going to be casting for the first game. Will be Rain versus Soki, 5 p.m. 2 hours early, because Soki had some COVID tests and got positive, so that schedule got delayed. So we're going to be having two games, I should say, 2 best of 5s in that day. Yeah, and I mean, this round of 8, I mean, I don't think it could have gotten better. Like Rain, the return of Rain going up against an expert in CVP and Sulky. And then we have Action versus Light. Light, you know, arguably the best Terran these days. And he's going up against Action, who I would say has some of the best ZBT. Like his Ultra style feels unstoppable. There was one game I watched of him recently, a sponsored game versus Royal. Royal was in an unlosable position on Revolver, and then Action still brought it back. I mean, this guy is lights out in TVZ. And then, of course, we've got another revenge match here between JYJ and Bisu. If you guys remember back in like ASL 8 or something, JYJ eliminated Bisu, so Bisu definitely wants to get revenge there, and JYJ, of course, wants to prove that, hey, that was not a fluke, and this might be the first time he makes it into the round of 4 if he wins there.
So the talking about that Bisu getting eliminated in the previous season, that must be the best of 1 series. So this time it is going to be the best of 5 series. Best of 1, some people may have some nice luck and win the game, and somehow they will be advancing into the next round. But whenever you're playing on a best of 5 series, you have to pull out everything. Any kind of strategy you are having as for JYJ. I mean, you're probably the one have to be defending for the revenge match, and JYJ needs to pull out all of his skills to take down Bisu for that best of 5 series.
Yeah, I think actually that's the one I look forward to the most, simply because JYJ is, my opinion, not someone you expect to make it to round of 4 or potentially finals, but I mean, every season he's done very, very well, so I would be very, very excited to see him make it into the round of 4, not also because he is a Terran player, and we already saw Rush, probably fan favorite for Terrans, already being eliminated. But 2.5 hours early scan. Oh my gosh. With me being back in the US, that means it's going to be a 3:30 a.m. cast. Oh my, so early.
Yeah, it is going to be a very tough time for you to wake up on time. Yeah, Korean commentators are going to be wrapping it up, and I wasn't expecting this best of 5 series going to be ended within a 1 hour game, and that was very unfortunate that Rush got eliminated this easily. I wanted to see him like fighting back at least, and maybe keeping up the score, maybe 2-2 at least, and then get eliminated. But Soma is just such a beast today.
Yeah, I mean, when you have thousands of games played versus the same opponent, sometimes they're just able to out-mind game you, and I wouldn't say that's exactly what happened here, but the backstabs were insanely effective, of course, from Soma, and it is unfortunate to see both our first place and second place finisher already eliminated from the ASL, but at the same time it gives us new blood going into the finals, and maybe Soma can get his first ASL championship. Maybe Bisu makes a return to championship form.Maybe Light gets his first ASL victory now, like he has a KSL victory but no ASL victory under his belt.
And we also have to be thinking of Soki, that he always have been showing such a great performance in ZVT and ZVP, but he always gets eliminated in ZVZ. But he actually overcome in this ASL Season 13, and I don't think there's not much of a Zerg players have been surviving, but I guess Soma is waiting in the next round. But ZVP, he's absolutely beast. Like how well he's just droning up, and all those decision making that Soki does is just incredibly great.
Yeah, whenever I'm in Discord with some of my Zerg friends, they always talk about how deadly Soulkey is in ZVP. So that matchup in particular versus Rain, who's just crushing it, even though he's only been recently back, that's going to be a very exciting matchup. And I'm looking at commentators. Looks like this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, next week, Tuesday, it's going to be 2.5 hours early. So definitely set your clocks. And we're going to have Soulkey versus Rain, and then followed up by Light versus Action. 2 very, very exciting matches. Well, maybe not. I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we are gonna be done momentarily. They're smiling at the camera. I'm not sure yet, but the right guy was looking at the camera earlier, but now he's looking down. Yeah, I guess he wants to say some last word before, but we'll never know. But yeah, the next game, the next week, it is going to be a very good game for all of the race users out there, because we can see ZVP and ZVT. It's gonna be a great day. Yeah, they're still talking. I guess they still didn't get the sign. Maybe they just want to fill up the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, the games ended so quickly. I mean, obviously games don't start instantly. We started like maybe at 6:15 in the morning for me, and now it's only 7:15. So literally the series is over in just an hour. So I guess they do have to fill some time before we go. Okay, here we go. I think no, not it. Not the case.
Yeah, they're tripping us. Yeah, okay, they're still looking. Not sure what they're saying. Asian language is very hard to reading the lips to understand what they're saying, because we don't move our lips that much, I guess.
Here we go. Finally. No!
No.
The guy in the middle just keeps baiting me over and over and over.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. Remember, 2 series. Going to be super, super hype. I already enjoyed today's series, so I'm looking forward to it. And me and Scan will see you there.